thanks for joining me today. It's Kathie, and I have a new project to share with you. We're going to be featuring the July 2017 Paper Pumpkin Kit, and this is alternate project number 2. We're going to be creating a fun flower card today, so here is a quick shot of that. And it's a nice array of flowers, somewhat like a border. So we're going to get started. So grab a piece of white cardstock, and what we're going to do is we're going to create some hills and valleys. And this is just a guide for you to stamp out your first set of flowers. So the first set is going to be pink pirouette, and then the second set is going to be sweet sugar plum. So grab the sunburst stamp, which is going to be the center of the flowers. So we're going to stamp it out with Daffodil Delight, and we'll just stamp that on the hills and valleys to start. And then with pink pirouette, we're going to stamp out all of the flower petals. So when you're doing these petals, make sure they slightly overlap each other, and that way it looks a bit more realistic. And then once you're finished that, we're going to stamp another set of flowers with Daffodil Delight for the center of the flowers. And we're going to use Sweet Sugar Plum. So this is going to add a nice pop of color because it's a bit more bolder than the pink pirouette. And we'll just do the same thing. Make sure you slightly overlap as you're stamping. And then with the leaf and stem stamp, we're going to stamp just up to the leaves with wild wasabi, and then turn it upside down, and then just stamp it between each of the flowers. So just go all the way around all the nooks and crannies of each flower. And then once you're done that, what we're going to do is we're going to have, we're going to stamp out the tulip. And we'll use the Soft Sky ink as a contrasting color. And we'll just stamp that over top or right next to the leaves. Okay, and then with Daffodil Delight, now I wasn't sure about this process or this part, but the short section of the card is fine the way I stamped the star or sunburst. So that's okay. But the bottom part I wasn't too sure of, so I just did the one row. In the meantime, I'm going to think about it if I should omit it or not. But first, I did grab the Stamp and Write marker with Daffodil Delight and just kind of filled in the center of the flowers. And just kind of dotted around the centers there to add just a bit of detail. And then now I'm going to cut it out. But then as I was cutting it out, I didn't really like the shape. So I thought, I'm going to remove the sunburst, but I'm going to leave the little tulips. Okay, so now that piece is ready. So I think it turned out pretty good. And then grab the larger envelope from the kit, and we're just going to slice or dicer this up. And what you're going to need is you're going to end up with a piece that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. But then I did remove 1/16 of an inch on each side just to make it a bit smaller and even. And then with the thanks stamp from the kit, I stamped it twice with the Tranquil Tide. The font on the thanks stamp is nice and thick, so you'll be able to get away with stamping it twice. Then I hand cut out the thanks sentiment and put foam tape on the back, and then I also stamped out the smaller sentiment. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble the card. So we're just gonna stick down that envelope panel piece over top of the pink card base, which I had left over. And then I'm just going to remove the foam tape from the flower piece, and we're going to stick that on the top of the card. So that design is going to be on the top. And then we're going to stick down the sentiments. So I put the little one down first, And then we'll stick down the thanks just above it. It's actually a really nice bold thanks. So the stamps that came in the kit are actually very versatile. All right, so now we're going to put it on a side folding card base. So I have that all stuck down. And I think the flowers need some enamel dots. So we're going to put some yellows on the pink pirouette flowers and green ones on the darker flowers. And then I just added a couple of red enamel dots next to the sentiments. And then this is where I thought, it needs a little bit more pop. So I'm grabbing the Sweet Sugar Plum Stampin' Write marker, and I'm just adding a little bit of detail around the centers of the pink pirouette flowers. And then with the Berry Burst Stampin' Write marker, I'll just do the same for the darker flowers. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. Lots of ways to create these flower cards, so I probably have a few more ideas, pretty well using the same flowers, but different layouts. So that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and give it a try. Thanks so much for joining me today. Bye for now.